Yeah, shalom, shalom, all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the old elect out there and the elect lady. All right. And what I'm watching right now, this is the bigger picture. And this is bigger. His face is familiar. He got his new podcast. I guess this is his own thing now. This the big dude. I think he was part of the that group in Math Hoffa, the Math Hoffa show. All right. I remember he was there was a scene where he was arguing back and forth with Smith and Wesson. Right? About the back in the day, East Coast and West Coast wars. All right, so here you go. You got Bishop. They love the limelight. So whenever they have an opportunity to be seen, IUIC, they love that vainglory and that limelight. All right, so what I want to play this little snippet right here because again, Bishop Nate is lying to BIGGA. He's going to ask him a question about having more than one wife. And that's not biblical. And the apostles been going through this. This is why Bishop Nate is always constantly being rebuked. Because he's constantly going off. But to the simple, he can deceive the simple. Like this guy right here,
With the whole thing, because one of the questions I will ask you is about, again, we were speaking about marriage. Mm-hmm. Can I have a wife? Can I go marry another wife?
Well, get that in 1 Timothy. Well, here's the answer. 1 Timothy 3.
Book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. This is a true saying.
You know what I like better? I like 1 Corinthians 7 and 2 better.
Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication,
to avoid sexual sins,
let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
Now Timothy 3 and 2.
1 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 2. A bishop then must be blameless. The husband.
The word bishop means head or leader. Okay?
The husband of one wife.
So now people go out and do whatever they want, but it don't change what's written.
I understand. But I've had, again, so-called Hebrew Israelites try to take my head off and tell me that you can marry more than one wife.
You can marry more than one wife, And missionary, you got to understand 1 Corinthians 7. What is this written to the church of Corinth? As Paul was saying, there was a lot of adultery going on, in Corinth within the church, within the Jews. It was a lot, just like today. Today you got, Jake promoting, women and men promoting adultery. And it's everywhere. It's disgusting. So 1 Corinthians 7, let's go there real quick. And then he went to 1 Timothy, going to the bishops. All right, let's go. Matter of fact, let me go over here. 1 Corinthians 7. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. What's this about? Because there was a lot of adultery going on. You have to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 5. You have to go 2 chapters before, because remember, Paul is writing these epistles and he's giving them moral advice and how to conduct themselves as men of the Lord. But Jake wasn't listening. Jake was going off. What was Jake doing? Well, let's read it. Immorality rebuked. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles, that one should have his father's wife. So you have sons sleeping with their father's wives, you know, vice versa, you know, and ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned that he that have done this deed might be taken away from you. Yeah, because, you know, when you go into the law, the scripture speaks about not sleeping with your laying with your there's a penalty when you're laying with your father's or your son's wives, man. That's in the law. That's a penalty. I think it's death, matter of fact. All right? For I verily, as absent in body, but present in spirit, have judged already, as though I were present concerning him that have so done this deed. In the name of our Lord HaMashiach Yahushua, when you are gathered together in my spirit with the power of the Lord HaMashiach Yahushua, to deliver such and one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that lust, fulfill ye the lust of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Lord HaMashiach Yahushua, man. So he was rebuking these men. This is why when you go to verse 7, going into a man's wife, he's giving them advice. He's telling them, look, man, sleep with your own women. Don't go around sleeping. You stick with your woman, your wife, the same way with the woman. You know, the woman, she has to stick with her husband. That's all it was. It wasn't saying that all men in Israel need to just stick with one wife to avoid fornication, to avoid adultery, man. You know, a man not supposed to be sleeping with another man's wife. That is against the law. That is going off. That's what it's talking about. All right? How are we supposed to bring the nation back? Isaiah 60, watch this. Let's go here. All right, verse 21. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000. How is that going to happen? And a small one, a strong nation. I, the Lord Yahweh, will hasten in this time. How is that supposed to happen? Right? Even when you go back to the Judges, verse 1, a Levite concubine, right? And it came to pass in those days when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took to him a concubine. So we had concubines. You know, we had many wives. Our forefathers had many wives. All right? Let me just get one or two. And that's coming back. Matter of fact, let's get Song of Solomon 6. All right, let's go to the Songs. All right, to the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, and they try to distract you with this Trump P Diddy shit, and while this thing going on in the Middle East. Let's go to Psalms. What's that? Psalms 6. verse 8. Let me highlight this. Oh man, hold on. What is this? Okay, I don't know what this means. Alright. Why is it not? Okay. Verse 8. There are 80 queens and 80 concubines and virgins without number, man. And even in his poems, Solomon speaks about that. Let's go into another story. Why I keep doing that, but it's all good. Oh man, come on. I'm telling you, man. Technology is good, but yet. Right? 2 Samuel 5 and 13. We could go on and on into these stories and accounts in the scriptures where our forefathers, had concubines, man. And David took more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron. And there were yet sons and daughters born to David. And these be the names of those that were born into him in Jerusalem: Shemua, Shuabab, Nathan, Solomon. All right? Go back to our forefathers. All of them. All of them. Speaks about, let's go there. Let's go here real quick. Psalms 128, 1 and 6. All right, so, Psalms 128, verse 1, a psalm: blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord Yahweh, that walketh in his ways. For thou shalt eat the labor of thy hands. Happy should thou be, and it shall be well with thee. Thy wife shall be as a fruitful vine by the sides of thy house, thy children like olive plants round about thy table. Many children. There's going to be a lot of loving going on in the kingdom. We're going to have plenty of concubines, the spoils, booty of the nations, man, the heathens, and also our wives of our own stock, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our Israelite women. They're going to be the most prettiest, sexiest women in the planet. And we're going to bring, like you said, a small one shall become a big nation, in other words. That you can't do that with one wife. You can't. Behold, that thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord. The Lord Yahweh shall bless thee out of Zion. And now thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of thy life. Yet thou shalt see thy children's children, and peace upon Israel. Yeah, we're going to have so many children that our children are going to have children. And we're still going to be living, because we're going to be living immortal. We're going to be immortals. We're going to live forever. And we're going to see our children's having children. All right, now, if you want to speak on today's, you can still do that. But I would not advise it. That's just my personal opinion. Because based on the law in Deuteronomy 21, you have to support all your wives. You have to take care of them. And Jake barely making it for himself. And so much going on. Everything is out of order over here in Babylon the Great. It wouldn't be a smart thing to do. Now, the men that do it, a lot of these men that do it in Israel, for the most part, it's all lust. That's all it is. It's lust. But, Bishop Nate is lying. And he's taking 1 Corinthians 7 out of proportion. Now, he said, let the bishops and deacons have one wife. Well, let me see. Let's go there real quick. Salakia. Well, you have to understand the job of a bishop and a deacon. Where we at? You know, going into you know, a bishop, he had an important job to tend to the church. You know, to the temple. He had to dress the temple. He was constantly you know, occupied in the necessities of the temple. So it was advisable, righteous advice for him to just, you know, when you got more than one wife, you got a lot of responsibility. So that's what that's talking about. So, you know, Bishop Nate, man, you again, stop lying to BIGGA. And this guy, he got a crown and sitting with angels. Christ lives. It's just crazy, man. But you know, it's just the confusion in the last days, man. You know, you know, when you go into the accounts again, our forefathers had plenty of wives and concubines, and we're going back to that in the ancient world. We're going back. Salak, we're going back to that in the kingdom, as in the days of old. That's why Yahweh says, as in the days of old, you should rebuild the ruins, you know, the tabernacle of David. Everything's going back to the ancient world. You know, no refrigerators, no TV dinner, everything, even our dietary, everything. The way we eat, we're going to have the heathens, Esau, everybody out there planting. Everybody's going to learn agriculture. They're going to learn to be farmers and husbandries. You know, the heathens are going to be out there working. Everything. And even when it comes to our laws concerning marriage, concubines, wives, we're going to have them. That's part of the contract. That's in the scriptures. Remember, Paul is giving advice for what was going on in Corinth. Corinth was going off. They were being wicked as hell, man. Sleeping with other men's wives, sleeping with their sons' wives. The sons were sleeping with their stepmothers and their fathers' wives. It was wicked. But again, you know, Bishop Nate taking scriptures out of context again, you know, to fulfill his egotistical lusts of the mind. So, Lord willing, you are edified in the spirit. You know, call Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh, all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Yahweh Tazah, you are edified in the spirit. Shalom.